The A-10 Warthog is a metal dragon, and it breathes bullets. Many aircraft in the modern era are designed to fight other planes, but one notable plane that takes up a different role and does it well is the A-10 Thunderbolt II, also known as the Warthog. The A in A-10 stands for attack, and the aircraft excelled throughout the Cold War and the War on Terror as a dedicated ground attack platform for the U.S. Air Force. From the Persian Gulf to the Balkans to Afghanistan, the Warthog had success fighting against tanks, infantry targets, enemy fortifications, and just about every other type of ground target. The plane is a single-seat, twin-turbofan engine, straight-wing jet aircraft developed by Fairchild Republic for the United States Air Force. Its official name is taken from the P-47 Thunderbolt, which was one of the top air-to-ground fighters of the Second World War. The endearing Warthog nickname, however, has stuck and become a common way of referring to the A-10. It entered the service in 1976 and is the only production-built aircraft that has served in the United States Air Force that was designed solely for close air support, or CAS. Its secondary mission is to provide forward air controller support by directing other aircraft and attacks on ground targets. Aircraft used primarily in this role are designated OA-10. It replaced the aging A-1 Skyraider, which had lesser firepower and was propeller-driven rather than a jet-powered. The A-10 was created to fill a gap in the Air Force's fleet, which lacked capable attack aircraft once the A-1 became outdated for the era. While the F-4 Phantom II went on to be one of the most successful fighter designs of the 1960s and proved to be a capable fighter-bomber, its lack of loiter time was a major problem. Additionally, its cost to operate exceeded $900 per hour. Eventually, the attack role was shifted to the A-7D. Unfortunately for the Air Force, this aircraft doubled in cost with demands for an upgraded engine and new avionics. On September 8, 1966, General John P. McConnell, Chief of Staff of the United States Air Force, ordered that a specialized CAS aircraft be designed, developed, and obtained. In 1970, the United States Air Force modified the request for proposals to reflect new threats. The danger presented by Soviet armored forces had become more serious. The requirements now included that the aircraft would be designed specifically for the 30mm rotary cannon. The RFP also specified a maximum speed of 460 miles per hour, takeoff distance of 4,000 feet, and external load of 16,000 pounds. The first production A-10 flew in October 1975, and deliveries commenced March of 1976. Due to its age, the A-10 fleet would be upgraded multiple times throughout its history. In 2005, the entire fleet of 356 A-10 and OA-10 aircraft began receiving precision engagement upgrades, including an improved fire control system, electronic countermeasures, and smart bomb targeting. The aircraft receiving this upgrade were redesignated A-10C. The A-10C also included modern displays, lightening the workload on the pilots compared to the manual switches and gauges of the original model. The aircraft also received all-weather combat capability and a hands-on throttle and stick configuration mixing the F-16's flight stick with the F-15's throttle. The A-10 is designed to be refueled, rearmed, and serviced with minimal equipment. It's also exceptionally tough, being able to survive direct hits from armor-piercing and high-explosive projectiles up to 23mm. It has double redundant hydraulic flight systems and a mechanical system as a backup if hydraulics are lost. The cockpit and parts of the flight control system are protected by 1,200 pounds, 540 kilograms of titanium aircraft armor, referred to as a bathtub. The armor has been tested to withstand strikes from 23mm cannon fire and some strikes from 57mm rounds. The A-10's durability was demonstrated on April 7, 2003 when Captain Kim Campbell, while flying over Baghdad during the 2003 invasion of Iraq, suffered extensive flak damage. Iraqi fire damaged one of her engines and crippled the hydraulic system. Despite the damage, Campbell flew the aircraft for nearly an hour and landed safely. The fuselage of the aircraft is built around the cannon. The GAU-8A is mounted slightly to the port side. The barrel and the firing location is on the starboard side at the 9 o'clock position, so it is aligned with the aircraft's center line. However, it can deploy many other weapons in the air to ground arsenal of the United States Air Force. The AGM-65 Maverick air-to-surface missile is a commonly used munition for the A-10, with both TV-guided and infrared variants. Other weapons include cluster bombs and Hydra rocket pods. GPS and laser-guided bombs used by the A-10 include the GBU-39 small-diameter bomb, Paveway series bombs, JDAM, WCMD, and glide bomb AGM-154 joint standoff weapon. It can also use the Sidewinder air-to-air missile for self-defense against other aircraft and helicopters. The A-10 was used in combat for the first time during the Gulf War in 1991, destroying more than 900 Iraqi tanks, 2,000 other military vehicles, and 1,200 artillery pieces. The aircraft excelled at finding these targets in the open desert and destroying them easily due to their lack of cover. United States Air Force A-10 aircraft also fired approximately 10,000 30mm rounds in Bosnia and Herzegovina in 1994 and 1995, and in Operation Deliberate Force, A-10s flew close air support missions attacking Bosnian Serb artillery and positions. A-10s returned to the Balkan region as a part of Operation Allied Force in Kosovo beginning in March 1999. The A-10s were deployed to support search and rescue missions, but over time the Warthogs began to receive more ground attack missions. Many of these missions in Kosovo are further documented in the book A-10s over Kosovo, the victory of air power over a fielded army, as told by the airmen who fought in Operation Allied Force, by Christopher E. Have. The plane additionally saw action during the War on Terror. 60 A-10 and A-10 aircraft took part in early combat during the 2003 invasion of Iraq. A-10s flew 32% of combat sorties in Operation Iraqi Freedom and Operation Enduring Freedom. The sorties range from 27,800 to 34,500 annually between 2009 and 2012. In the first half of 2013, they flew 11,189 sorties in Afghanistan. From the beginning of 2006 to October 2013, A-10s conducted 19% of CAS missions in Iraq and Afghanistan, more than the F-15E Strike Eagle and B-1B Lancer, but less than the 33% flown by F-16s. In 2011, the Warthog participated in attacks against Libyan ground forces during coalition intervention. The future of the plane is currently under debate. The critics have said that replacing the A-10 with the multi-role F-35 would be a giant leap backwards, given the A-10's performance and the F-35's high costs. In January 2016, the United States Air Force was indefinitely freezing plans to retire the A-10 for at least several years. In addition to congressional opposition, its use in anti-ISIL operations, deployments to Eastern Europe as a response to Russia's military intervention in Ukraine, and reevaluation of F-35's numbers justified keeping the model in service. In June 2017, it was announced that the aircraft, quote, will now be kept in the Air Force's inventory indefinitely. With the Air Force preferring fighters to attack aircraft, there may never be an A-11 in the future. But for now, it looks like the A-10 will continue performing the specialized role that it's already done for decades.